welcome to our July 10th, 2025 Bedford Board of Education consent, board meeting. If we can have call to order, please.
Sorry. Ms. Boynton?
Here.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Present.
Mr. Akins?
Here.
Ms. Macklin?
Here.
Ms. Carter?
Here. Thank you. If we can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All righty. I'm sorry, I had you do roll call earlier. It's okay. Sorry about that. Good evening, everyone. We're going to keep on moving. If you look at 2.01, that's acknowledgement of goals. You can read those at your leisure. We are going to move on to 3.01, which is our new science curriculum. We are going to have Ms. Sherry Martin come on up, and even possibly Dr. Harrington assist where needed, but we're going to have you go ahead and present. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. All right. This is really loud. Good evening, Board President Carter, board members, and Dr. Harrington. Tonight, on behalf of the Office of Academic Achievement, I will be presenting the K-12 Science Curriculum Adoption Recommendation. So we always like to start off with our district goals. I won't take the time to read those, but we always like to start off with those and also to make an alignment to our district goals and this recommendation. So the alignment would be with Goal 1, where this science curriculum, if approved, would help increase achievement, progress, gap closing, as well as graduation ratings on our state report card. As you all know, Ohio Department of Education and Workforce recommends high-quality instructional materials, and on their website, they make reference to this sentence here: each child should have access to relevant and challenging academic experiences and the educational resources necessary. There's a materials review process as outlined by ODEW, and we as a district also align our process with that same process as outlined by the state. I won't take the time to read every single detail, but that does include first planning, then studying of those high quality materials, instructional materials, then launching the curriculum, and then finally implementing the curriculum. And that is our plan in our district as well. So our Science Curriculum Committee had K-12 teacher representation. Teachers were invited to participate in the curriculum review during the summer, and those that volunteered were compensated for their time. Curriculum committee members did use a science curriculum rubric, and that was created by the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce. And so here is our recommendation. So the recommendation for K-5 science curriculum is SAVIS Experience Science. And up here I've just highlighted some of the aspects of the program. The first one being that it is inquiry-based. Students are able to develop a deep understanding of science and engineering practices, while literacy skills are being built into the curriculum, especially with a focus on the scientific background knowledge as well as vocabulary. And then finally, this curriculum does connect with the science instruction specifically to the Ohio standards. The recommendation for our 6th to 8th grade students is also SAVIS Experience Science, and some of the highlights of this curriculum include hands-on investigation and real-world connections in order to deepen their understanding, as well as supporting all learners by ensuring that our multilingual and other diverse learners thrive. And then finally, there are many inquiry-based activities that will help our students to ask questions, test ideas, and also build their science confidence. Finally, the 9 to 12 science recommendation is SAVIS Physics, Chemistry, Biology, and then Physical Science, which is actually made by a company called Prentice Hall. Highlights of this curriculum include implementing a learning model that organizes learning around phenomena, giving students an authentic real-world experience. Lots of hands-on and digital activities are included. And then finally, SAVIS has partnered with Flynn Scientific in order to deliver high-quality inquiry labs, workbenches, and then performance assessments. So these are the program components, should this be approved. There are print components, and that includes the teacher editions as well as the student editions. So that would be our textbooks and our consumables for all of our students, K to 12. And then there's also the digital program components, which is awesome because then our teachers can access, as well as our students, can access things online through the Savvis Realize digital platform. And so, as always, we want to make sure that we have a professional development plan in place as well once the curriculum is approved and adopted. And so this would be our success plan for that. All of our K-12 science teachers would engage first in an introduction training for this curriculum, and that would take place in August. And then we would have continued training in November 2025. Our administrators would also sit alongside of our teachers and engage in this training as well. Then there's also the opportunity for unlimited and ongoing professional development for our teachers and administrators, and that can be found through the digital platform. So that would include virtual training, pre-recorded science on demand webinars, and then of course ongoing collegial conversations. And that is all I have for you. Are there any questions?
No, I thank you for this information. I don't have any questions at this moment. Does anyone else have questions?
I do. Ms. Martin, could you tell me a little bit about the multilingual part?
Oh, sure. So Savvis does an excellent job with incorporating opportunities and ideas for teachers to implement within their instruction in terms of vocabulary, in terms of hands-on activities to really reach our multilingual learners. But also, it's not just for multilingual learners, it's also for all students, because these are instructional strategies that can be used with all students, not just that group of students. So it's really reaching everybody. So it's like an additional tier 1 support.
I had a question as to who participated. How many educators were a part of the collaboration?
I don't have the exact number on hand, but because this did take place in the summer, we did have a decent amount come out. This committee was not as large as our previous ones because it did take place over the summer.
One thing I want to interject, we wanted to get the participation of our department chairs, grade level chairs, and then at the high school, other teachers also requested to participate. So it was a variety.
Any administrators?
Just us.
Just us.
I meant like principal-wise or anything.
No, this seems like a really good program, and so what we are working with, what we're adding to, what we
So for many of our instructional materials, we are using Savvis. And so the alignment there would be really great because our teachers are used to using this program and this digital platform. As you know, for K-5 math, we're using Savvis, and then K-12 ELA as well. And so the platform is very user-friendly. We seem to have had some success with math and ELA over the last couple of years. So we felt that this would be in alignment with the things that we're already using currently in our district.
With the success that you mentioned with in the other areas, they attribute to the goals.
Absolutely.
With those that volunteer, were they made up of teachers from different, I guess, longevity, like maybe more senior teachers and also some newer teachers?
So like Dr. Harrington said, we wanted to get our grade level chairs and our department chairs involved. So yes, that would, that there's a diverse group of teachers that are involved in that, from our newer teachers to our more seasoned teachers, just based on who serves as a grade level chair or a department chair.
Okay, and that includes those that also just volunteer too?
Correct.
Okay.
I did have an additional question. When it, with the new curriculum, is there also a book involved, or is it only a digital platform?
No, there is a print component as well. The teachers would receive their teacher editions, and those would be physical manuals. And then the students would also have textbooks and as well as consumables.
Will we be able to see the textbooks?
Yeah. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, we actually have some downstairs, so we could make those available to you.
thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
One more question.
Sure.
As far as the PD,
Mhm.
it's just, you said it was in August and then in
Yes.
November?
Yes.
And the webinar, will that be part of your PD days to make those webinars available? Because, and I'm just saying this, a lot of times when you have the webinar, which are really, really good because you need that additional professional development, sometimes the time that they're provided is during the day when you are actually
So
in a
the-
classroom. So I just wonder if those webinars would be available maybe out, which people don't like to do, but I did,
Mm-hmm.
outside of the workday.
Yes, so they're available on the digital platform, so they are always available.
So they're always.
So it's
available.
at their
Okay,
time,
great.
they can take those webinars.
Correct, and the hope would be
That's
too
good.
that during staff meetings, they would engage in
Exactly.
professional development as well.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's really important
Mm-hmm.
with any new program to have that available, because in August, you're just, okay. And in November, you're like, oh, sorry, sounds like holiday. So it's really good to have that, so I'm glad they do it. So,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
additional questions?
I had a question on, once you get to the implementation stage, would that be, that is like certain grade levels at first, or just K through 12?
So the implementation will happen shortly after the professional development is offered. So the implementation would happen in August.
And that's for all grade levels?
That would be K to 12, yes.
Okay.
I will bring a couple bags of books up, and I'll just set them in the back here for you all to look at your convenience.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. All righty. Moving on. I appreciate, again, thank you, Dr. Harrington, and, yes, Mrs. Martin, I was trying to say her last name, and I was reading at the same time for that presentation. Thank you. Moving on to 4.01, minutes from June 26, 2025, our meeting. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been motioned by Mrs. Macklin and second by Mr. Akins that we approve the minutes from June 26, 2025. Any questions, comments? Roll call?
Yes. Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes. Passes 5-0. Thank you, board. We're now moving on to 4.02, minutes from June 26, 2025, special meeting. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Turner Birch, second by Mrs. Macklin, that we approve the minutes from special meeting on June 26, 2025. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Yes. Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Akins? I'm sorry, Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes. Passes 5-0. Thank you, board. We are now at 5.01, where the audience may address the board. Can I have someone read that, please? Oh, well, if we don't have any cards, we're not gonna worry about it, we're gonna move on. Moving on to 6.01, consent agenda. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve consent agenda as it is presented.
Second.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Boynton and second by Mrs. Turner Birch that we accept the consent agenda as presented. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Yes. Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes. Passes 5-0. Thank you, board. We are now on to the superintendent's report, but you can tell we don't have Dr. Johnson here. We have Dr. Harrington. So I'm going to pass the mic over.
Good evening, Madam President, Vice President, board members. Madam President, I have the following recommendations for you and the board's approval at this time. 7.01, we're requesting the approval of administrative personnel. 7.02, service contracts as recommended by the Executive Director of Academic Achievement. So the approval to enter into Title I pooling agreement with the Educational Service Center of Northeast Ohio to provide properly licensed tutors to Cleveland Central Catholic High School for the upcoming school year. And then also approval to adopt the new Savage Science curriculum that you just heard about from Mrs. Martin. And then approval of the renewal of a service contract with Seesaw Learning for learning experiences, platform, and access to standards related to lessons and subjects grades K through 6. At this time, we are requesting that 7.03 be removed. We're requesting the approval for 7.04 payment in lieu of transportation and declaring transportation to be deemed impractical for eligible students attending non-public schools per board policy 8600 for the upcoming school year. And then approval of 7.05, request for approval of the use of the following school facilities, the Bedford Stadium Youth Track Meet for that purpose.
Thank you so much. We're gonna go ahead with 7.01, administrative personnel. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve the hiring of the following administrative personnel.
Second.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Boynton, seconded by Mrs. Macklin, that we approve the hiring of the following administrative personnel. Do we have any questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes. Passes 5-0. We're gonna move on to 7.02, the service contracts, Executive Director of Academic Achievement for entering into Title I. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve the service contract as it is presented.
Second.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Boynton, seconded by Mrs. Macklin, that we accept the service contract as presented. Do we have any questions?
I do. Is this due to us having students that attend Cleveland Central Catholic, or
So this
I'm
is,
trying to understand?
this is always, as we talk about Title I non-public, this is in alignment with that. So this is their funding, again, we're just the fiscal agent. So again, just entering into this agreement, it kind of pools it with the other districts who also have non-public funds that have to be utilized. So this is a way in which they want to use their money, and this is through the partnership with the ESC. So remember, as the Title I federal funds come to us, there's also a percentage that has to go to non-public schools.
Gotcha.
And this is that area of alignment of work.
And that's irrespective of a student that we
Correct.
have attends there or not?
Correct.
Okay.
Any additional?
So,
Oh, no.
the
Go ahead.
ESC selects the school?
No. So again, Cleveland Central Catholic is one of those non-publics, as you said, and I may have misheard you, but as we have students who attend, we are the fiscal agent that receives the Title I funds for that non-public
That's
school.
what I thought, okay. Yeah, thank you, Miss.
Yeah.
But you answered it then, okay, thank you.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes, passes 5-0. Thank you, board. We are going to, it's been a motion to remove 7.03 from the agenda. Do I have?
So moved to move the, to remove 7.03 from the agenda.
Second.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Turner Birch and seconded by Mrs. Boynton that we remove 7.03 from our agenda this evening. Any questions? Roll call?
Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes. Passes 5-0. Thank you, board. We're moving on to 7.04, payment in lieu. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, did we even? Yes, okay. It has been motioned by Mrs. Macklin and seconded by Mrs. Turner Birch that we approve the payment in lieu. Is there any questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes. Thank you, passes 5-0. We're gonna move on to 7.05, which is our building permit facilities request, Executive Director of Operations for July 19th for our Bedford Sprint Masters to have their youth track meet. Can I have a motion?
Motion
So
to
moved.
approve. Second.
Motion by Mrs. Turner Birch and second by Mrs. Macklin that we approve, the Sprint Masters to have their youth event. Any questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Wait, I have a
Oh,
question.
yes.
If they using the field for that, do that give them, do that give them rights to the kitchen part of it? Seems like that would be an insurance problem.
We can double check the contract that's here. I
You
don't
can
know
look
if
at
they have,
Facilities.
They don't say.
yeah, it's just in the stadium. It's use of facilities, rights and responsibilities. I am going to assume it's, because I don't think I've ever seen them use the
Oh,
kitchen.
I've
Oh,
seen
they
them
have?
use it, yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't see that, but I'm sure we could ask or just state that it's just the stadium, because they didn't ask for anything else.
I just wondered.
But number 7 gives us the right to revoke part of it anyway.
I just wondered, because I came one time and there was 10,000 people in the kitchen part and there were kids in there, and I'm scared those kids gonna get hurt, so I just wanted to know if that is part of their rental.
Yeah,
That
it's,
would be an insurance problem, seemed like to me.
well, up here, it reads just the stadium, but I'm sure that we can have them reinforce that it's just the stadium part and not the kitchen.
Okay.
And, make sure that if we have any security or anybody here, they're making sure that stays closed.
But they also take on liability when they, ask to use the facility anyway, so if there was an
Well, this is
issue.
true.
And that's number 5,
Here's
so if
number
there
five.
was an issue,
Yeah.
then.
It's
they-
on them.
They're held liable.
Okay.
Just wondered.
Okay. Great questions to ask. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Carter.
Yes. Thank you, board. Passes 5-0. I am now going to pass it over to our treasurer for the treasurer's report, 8.01.
Thank you, Madam President, Board Vice President, board members. Tonight, I only have one thing, and it is a $7,000 donation for string cheese, or $7,000 worth of string cheese.
Well, all right.
That is all I have.
We will take string cheese and anything else we can get for our students. Perfect. So you have heard the treasurer's report. Can I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Turner Birch and seconded by Mrs. Macklin that we approve the donation as presented, and I think our students would love the cheese. Any questions?
You want this good protein?
Exactly. All right, hearing none. Can I have a roll call?
Yes. Ms. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
and Ms. Carter.
Yes. Thank you, board. Passes 5-0. We are on to new business, old business. We are at 9.01, administrative leadership team contractual agreement A and administrative leadership team contractual agreement B. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve the following contractual agreements with OPSI,
Second.
BA.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Boynton, second by Mr. Akins, that we approve, the contractual agreements. Do we have any questions? Hearing none? Oh.
I was just clarifying, these are the leadership contract books, but they're kind of more in alignment with language with BEA and OPSI.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Yep.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
With clarification.
No problem.
I didn't use that.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Ms. Carter.
Yes, passes 5-0. Thank you, board. Moving on to 9.02, specialist contractual agreements. Can I have a motion? This one will be for non-administrative specialist contractual agreements.
So move.
Second.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Boynton, second by Mrs. Macklin, that we approve the following personnel contractual agreements. Are there any questions?
These would be considered like coordinators or secretaries or at that level?
Yeah, so it's, like our secretaries, coordinators here, all the positions are in these books. These are your non-admin, but also non-BA or OC members.
Yeah, I see the list here. It says your benefit specialist, data entry, human resource clerk, purchasing manager, those types.
Thank you. I don't have the.
No, you're good. No.
The-
That's why I wanted
the
to read
link,
it all.
so
So
thank
you can
you.
see it. Not a problem.
You don't have that attached?
Any additional questions?
It's not populating.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Carter.
Yes, passes 5-0. Thank you, board. We are now on to 9.03, policy. This is our board policy third reading and approval. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve the revised policies as they are presented.
Second.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Boynton, second by Mrs. Macklin, that we approve the revised policies as presented. Are there any questions? We're good? All right. Perfect. Roll call, please.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Carter.
Yes. Thank you, board. Passes 5-0. 9.04, the policy, board policy in second reading and approval of policy 8600. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Boynton and second by Mrs. Turner Birch that we approve the second reading and approval of board policy. Any questions?
Question, are we able to approve it on the second reading and not have a third reading on that?
You said, are we able to approve?
Yeah.
We're doing that now.
Yeah, but it's only been the second reading. Usually we go to a third reading before we approve anything.
Typically, we only have the second reading. The reason we have the third reading of the other policies, because we pulled them last meeting to revise the one that
Okay.
we discussed. Yeah,
So that you-
but typically you just need the first and second reading.
Okay.
But third can be an option though.
Yes.
If you have to do any
If
revisions or
necessary.
anything like that.
Okay.
Thank you for that question. Any additional? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Macklin,
Sustain.
Ms. Carter.
Yes, passes 4-1. Thank you, board. All right, we are on to any additional information. Does anybody want to share? I will say I participated in the 4th of July parade. It was really fun. A lot of people this year. But it was fun to be out there and see everybody. And Miss Macklin was definitely a hit on the streets, known by everybody. But is there anything else anybody wants to share?
Just updates, as far as celebrations for this month. It's Social Wellness Month. It's also Family Reunion Month, UV Safety Month, National Cell Phone Courtesy Month, and National Recreation and Parks Month. So I just wanted to bring light to those, particular celebrations, that are being, excuse me.
Celebrated? or-
Yes, that are being acknowledged for this month. I'm not feeling the greatest, so excuse me. I also wanted to know, before I add on some other things, I wanted to know if Taylor could just briefly speak to the passing of the budget at the State House when we switch over to legislative things. If you can just speak briefly, overarching, of what is being done now with budgets, what's also being done with federal funds of the $185 million that's being withheld from the state of Ohio, by the current president. And then, if you can briefly speak, if you know more of the vetoes that were done by the governor as it
Yeah.
pertains to the budget?
So the budget did pass. The governor came in, and the main ones for school districts that he vetoed was the 40% cap in tax reform. He vetoed that. He felt that that would bring on levy exhaustion, because districts would be forced to go to ballot a lot more often than we currently do. Another one he did was a calculation of the 20 mil floor. It's going to remain the same under his veto. If he had not done that, they would include emergency levies and other things that are not included, which would bring a lot of districts off the 20 mil floor and really hurt district financing. And I believe those were the two main ones that I can think of. There's a couple other ones, but nothing that really affects the students. So currently, there's talk of them overturning those vetoes, possibly bringing in members from their vacations going on to vote upon those that overturn the veto. So we don't know where we're at. We're not out of the clear. I can say I applaud Governor DeWine for coming in and stepping in and doing the right thing. I believe, he truly tried to save public school funding in public schools, but we're not, out of the scary situation yet. As far as the federal funds, I will defer to Dr. Harrington, because it's in his realm. Right now we're kind of in limbo. We don't know where we're at with the federal funds at this point, but I'll let him explain more.
So right now, we did receive tentatively our allocation for Title I, but every other federal source was kind of pulled and put on hold by the federal government. So as Taylor said, we're just in limbo right now, trying to understand when we'll know and then how much that'll be. We're also in a little bit of limbo as it relates to carryover, if that will exist or if that will be eliminated.
And so our fiscal year begins July 1st.
Yes.
And this was withheld on June 28th, correct?
Yes.
$185 million is being withheld from the state of Ohio for public education. So, elections have consequences. I also want to point to some opportunities, some Ohio opportunities. Ohio Energy Assistance Program has a new website. Application provides support for eligible households to help cover their energy costs. I expect a 12-week processing time for online and mailed applications. There are required documents, proof of income, utility bills, list of household members with social security numbers and birth dates, and proof of citizenship. If you have any questions, you can call 800-282-0880. Community outreach and family engagement for individuals with developmental disabilities. The Ohio Developmental Disability Council is supporting projects that enhance capacity and create systemic change. One-year projects can receive funding between $20,000 and $90,000. Proposals should address transportation and accessibility, use of technology, replication and sustainability, and cross-disability and cultural diversity. And I have an email that you can contact someone as it regards that, and that's sarah.bates, SARA.BATES @dodd.ohio.gov, or you can also call 614-644-5548 for application or any questions as it pertains to that. And those are pretty much all the announcements that I have. Thank you.
I think I turned it off. Title I funds, were there any changes?
Not anything that was overtly, we're pretty much in the same place that we've been in. But that always can adjust too, so, but right now.
Oh, it can?
Yeah, yes.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not always set in stone, so.
okay.
I went to Oakwood Council last night, and I was telling them about the new administration building, because I just felt that Oakwood should know just like everybody else, and some people who was there didn't know anything about it. I explained it to them, and they were all happy because the first thing they said is it's gonna cost us any more money. And I told them, as of right now, I don't know. But for the new ad building, no, but as of right now, with what's going on, I don't know what's gonna happen. But they were really happy, and they were all satisfied with what I told them and what we're doing.
Nice. I just want to put out there, let's keep an eye on our babies. Let's continue to check in on them mentally, and their mental status. I've actually been talking to some friends who where their friends lost children from that 160th and Buckeye event. Very young, children, or even, just graduated. So let's make sure we're checking in on our children, making sure we're keeping them safe, or at least directing them in the right direction, because it's summertime, it's warm outside, everybody's out. So let's just make sure we're keeping an eye on all of our children. And let's just check on each other. You never know what somebody is going through mentally, emotionally, physically, so definitely check in on everybody. Check on your friends, check on your neighbors. It's hot outside, check on your senior citizens. There's some people who don't have air conditioning. So let's make sure we're checking on everybody, because this weather is not our normal weather. We're not used to 90-degree weather. Anything else? Did I hear right that Ohio is changing it to where you have to be, if you're under 21, you have to take a,
Take what?
so under the age of 21, you have to take a driver's class. You can't wait, you can't turn 18 and just get your license.
Mm-hmm, yes.
So we have to make sure that we are, I was listening to, I'm like, it's crazy. So maybe we can try to find ways to help our students somehow, I don't know.
As it pertains to, you brought up driving education, there's actually a new law that the governor has put into place for students who are in driver education, that effective September 30th, they can miss up to 2 hours per day of school if they're enrolled for like their sessions for like in-cars, 2 hours a day, but not to exceed 4 consecutive days. And it would be an excused absence. So just making sure people understand that as well, because
Documentation.
right.
Can't just say I was at driving class. Nope, we need
Right.
to see it.
But yes, they are excused absences, and you can use 2 hours a day.
Perfect. All right, is there anything else? Hearing nothing else, can we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Boynton, second by Mrs. Macklin, that we adjourn. Roll call?
Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes, thank you. Everyone have a wonderful evening.